So we've got a couple of famous old bells from the collection that we brought over. We were here with Chris Wheeler, Packy Wheeler at Bell Racing USA, and we brought them a little surprise to open up and take a look.
Look at that one. You get to tell the story on this.
It was, from what I can remember, this is the last off-road helmet that I raced with.
It's funny to see, like,
Pretty heavy.
Very. What's this on the back? Pac-Man.
Yeah,
and,
me chasing a ghost there. It was painted by a local kid. I mean, it's not the best paint job.
It's funny, though, how the quality of paints have changed, right, drastically.
Yeah.
This helmet was probably done in 89 and 90.
Yeah, it was done at the end of the 80s.
But it's still funny that even back then, how personalized they were.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, you can see I mean, I don't know what all of these are, but these are tech stickers. This was the President's 250, which I think was in Barstow. This was Las Vegas, which is probably the Mint 400.
Fantastic.
These other ones just mean it went through tech, and they used it at that point to go through tech. But I mean, obviously, it's a pretty heavy unit.
Yeah.
We had the Parker Pumper back in those days in Southern California. There was only one guy that you bought your helmets from, and he did all the radio stuff. He was called the Weatherman.
Is that right?
It's now PCI radios.
PCI radios. They're still involved.
They're massive.
But I mean, they bought this was actually called the Parker Pumper model, and this, you know, if I allowed to cuss on your TV, this is a Simpson.
Yeah.
And it came with this molded into it, and you know, our fresh air of the Parker Pumper would come in here. So, but I mean, and you can even see where the guy painted it here, where he's kind of etched out, kind of had scratched out some of these lines before he actually did it. This was just a local kid that lived down the street from me. And actually, when Christopher got his first motorcycle, when his mom didn't know he was getting a motorcycle for his birthday at the age of 5, this kid painted Christopher a helmet. And Christopher has it over at the house. Wow. And him and the kid down the street, they had some sort of a deal going on where he'd say, "Skinny want a donut, fatty want a steak." And I mean, him and the kid down the street, and that's on that helmet too. So, but you know, I know this was in the Ron Burton collection.
Yes.
We haven't seen it in a very long time. Yeah. I mean, we moved here in the end of '93, or the beginning of '94. Wow. So when we moved from Southern California to here, Ron took it over sometime early in '94. So, we haven't seen it since 1994. You can still see all the mud and the dirt from the sweat. You know, things weren't the best back then.
No. But so we're talking, this is 24 years since you've seen this helmet.
Since you held it, for sure, because it used to be on display.
And it's fair to say, you know, this helmet probably had a big impact in your life too, Chris. You know, you ended up working on race helmets for some of the best drivers in the world. And your dad's still involved in the sport, still here with you working today at Bell Racing USA. And you collect helmets a little bit, right, Chris? Yeah. Yeah. Do you have one of your dads in the collection?
There's only one in the world.
There is.
Yeah, this is the only one that's known to be in existence. You know,
he used to wear high top, double Velcro Reebok tennis shoes, bright red.
Oh right.
Well, yeah, fit your Simpson drivers.
So you're giving me a job to go track them down next.
I bet you they're in the shed in Millie Island, Florida.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they're probably there. We do have the skid plate that's off the car. We got a lot of memories of the car. Actually, the car is probably still around. We know who we sold it to, the last one at least. But there are a few of them. Yeah. But that's pretty special, Darren. We, I mean, with Ron, you know, declining in probably health and getting older, as we all do, you know, I have Ron's original artwork, the painting from the Brickyard 400 that he did. He did an artist's rendering, but it's in oil. Yeah. And it was the first one he ever did for NASCAR. Oh. And me and Ron were pretty good friends, and I got that from Ron. And I mean, you just never know what happens to these things. There's all kinds of rumors, Darren, of what's happened to his collection over the years. I mean, I've seen his son, Mark, and I'm able to, you know, wish him best wishes, but I know it's hard to get him on the phone and that type of stuff now. And that's just a question you just don't know what ever ask somebody at this stage of their life or whatever. Yeah. It's been a great friend over the years. It really has. And it's hard to see all of us getting older, you know.
Yeah, it is.
You'll get there one day,
I will.
Young lad.
And you know, Ron is very famous in Speedway. All the drivers in his collection obviously have got their own story. you know, you got the AJ Foyts of the world who've got 4 Indy championships. You got the Packy Wheeler. He's got his own story. Chris Wheeler's got
I
his
think
own
the best
story.
helmets in the collection were Wad and Packy.
Yeah.
Well, and one of the things, and I'm sure that you know this, but most of these guys that he collected helmets from, he did a trade-off with his paintings.
He did.
So, and that's, you know, I never had a painting. I mean, a true story on it, when I moved here to go to Florida, knowing it was his first, I tried to give it back to him in exchange for him painting kind of a rendition of the 4 Indy 500 wins that I was associated with.
Yeah.
And at that time it was only 3, you know, because this was pre-Dan Weldon.
Yeah, yeah.
So when I moved in 2010 to Florida, you know, I had won a couple with, well, Foyt and then Chip in Aspen. So I was going to have him do a collage of Foyt's logo and the Target logo, and you know, something shows a ghost. He's big at ghost stuff. I was going to have a ghost spotter up there in the sky, kind of a weird deal. And then Dan won in 11. So I told him we were going to have to change it. And again, at that point, you know, his health was kind of declining, and it got to a point where we knew he was never going to get to do it. So we just went ahead and we went ahead and kind of swapped it back out, and I took the painting back home.
Oh,
we just called it a friendship.
Yeah.
He wasn't able to paint at the level that he was, and he becomes such a popular guy that, you know, I mean, everybody wanted to get stuff done. So being a friend, I have my memories with Ron, and I do have my painting, but I got to tell you, Darren,
well,
that's awful special just to see it.
It is.
That's probably the most prized possession you've got in your collection of world champions and stuff like that, I'm sure.
It's a pleasure for me to be able to honestly to have a great collection and to have different people from different motorsports. And but honestly, one of the reasons I started the business on the sales side is, you know, for moments like this that are more special than keeping building my own collection. So I'm proud today to present it to Chris, to put it into his collection.
No way.
So it's all yours, and even more special to have you.
Thank you, sir, very much.
Have you here together. So this is for Chris's collection, and one that I'm sure he'll.
I think this one will go on top of probably Bourdais' 100th Indy 500 helmet.
Yeah. I like how he said on top. You know, you're still beating Bourdais there, 4-time champion. So
I hope.
The dad's always.
I may not be
right
the
there.
driver as Sebastian, but hopefully I'm a good dad.
You are a good dad.
But you know, this brings back a lot of memories because, like I say, when I was racing, and some of the stories that Chris could tell you about his relationship with the late Bob Gordon and his son Robbie, with us racing through the years, and Chris growing up as a little guy. I mean, he ran rampant with those guys at the races, and that was first time Chris ever raced. He was 5.
Really?
And he raced the shaft-driven Pee Wee at the halftime of the Mickey Thompson events.
Okay.
And he put his motorcycle in Bob's little pit area and stuff, so it was, you know.
The last time I saw this helmet get used was right after my old man had flipped with my mom down in Baja. And then we got the car up together, went out to Barstow, and nobody else would hop in the car with them. They were like, hey, man, look, last time we were on track, hey. So they had to put a bunch of pillows in the seat just to get the belts to tighten up enough. And we went and hauled ass and shook the car down. I was maybe 6, 7.
Wow.
And we're in a 2-seat Score off-road buggy and just hauling the mail out through Barstow.
Yeah.
Probably the last time I saw this thing get used.
That's great. Yeah, well, I mean, I brought it here, you know, intention to do a trade with you on the Montoya helmet. Sabina's that you sold the Montoya helmet. It's all yours, mate.
Man, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, very much. I appreciate it.